Board games, board games, it's what we're talking about vaguely. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. We are starting off this streaming with a bit of BEZZY singing. And over here, I'm in my garden today. This is a place where the cats might play. There's a black one with white bits and a black one with more white on the paws. And they rarely get out their claws, which is good. Boards, games, and chatting, it's what we're talking about. Board games and friendly Friday forum, I'm not gonna shout. Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. This is episode 359 of Bezzy Beats and Board Game Blether, and I am your nominal host, Bez. I am out in the garden, as you can see today. I've decided that every Friday it's going to be a different place. So maybe it might be a difficult place as well, who knows? Today I'm out in our private garden. Next week I might be out in a completely different place. We might be in front of the Houses of Parliament, who knows? But this is episode 359 and I'm excited to already have a lovely guest. Nikita. Hello, Nikita.
Hi.
Because
sorry, I ran off to see the postman.
It's all good, because today is, of course, the Friendly Friday Forum, and as happens every Friday, I invite everyone who would like to join me to join me. I'm not saying you have to join me, and hello, Elaine, it is lovely to see you. If you want to chat along from chat, then that is super okay, and I hope that you, I don't know, feel some excitement, that you feel some joy from it. I just know that when I'm personally watching something, I want to be involved as much as possible. And this is where that came from. It came from me realizing, wow, it's really easy to add people. So if people wanted to chat along, like I personally want to do all the time when I'm watching other people's streams, then you totally could. And all you've got to do is click the link that, you see there. Today, as a nominal topic of conversation, we do have a somewhat serious topic, but we can also talk about, highlights and all sorts of stuff, and it should be very light. But we are going to get into a possibly serious conversation about what an author wrote about what they see as 5 geek social fallacies. Do we agree with them all? I mean, Nikita, I know that you've already told me that you don't really.
Yeah. I agree with them as points of human behavior, but I don't think they're intrinsically geeky.
Yeah, I think it probably. I don't know the author at all. I came across this article because I was linked to it. And hello, Nicholas. It is lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. I came across this article because, I've got some friends who are into LARP. I'm into Nordic LARP, as you know, and one of them shared this article and said, hey, this is an interesting article. Read through this. Do you think that you are susceptible to any of these fallacies? I can see traits of these things in myself. And I think you're right, that it's all about human behavior. It's not because we're geeks that we succumb to them. I mean, if anything, there's a lot of people in my life who are definitely not geeks, that I can definitely see what's going on. And let me actually, I don't know if this is any better for the light, trying to get it so that the sun isn't covering the screen. Alex says, outside is the new inside, long live the garden. Yeah, this is all based on Sunday when Joanne said, hey Bez, have you ever thought about doing a garden tour? And I said, you know what, why not just go back to sitting in the garden, which I used to do. And if you're excited by a garden tour, I could take my mobile phone. I can actually do StreamYard on my phone, and I could sit in front of landmarks. So I thought at the end of this show, we can vote on where I should go next week, and it will be an opportunity for me to have an excuse to cycle somewhere, like a bit of exercise, if that makes sense. And then maybe one day I'll.
And there's in the background.
Oh yeah. There, it's kind of just crossing. Yeah. So, without any further ado, let's get to recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights, recent highlights. Have you played any good games recently? Have you enjoyed anything? I myself, I've played a bit of a video game, Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe. Have you heard of it?
No, what's that?
So this is something that I bought on stream. I think it was part of a Humble bundle. And imagine Tetris or columns where all the blocks are falling down, right? But you're not a god. You're not able to somehow magically teleport them left and right and turn them. You are just a little character on the bottom of the pit. And you're shooting these blocks, trying to avoid going to the top where you'll be crushed. And also at the bottom, there are spikes, so you need to be careful. Any time you shoot something, because there's only 3 colors, all attached blocks of that color will also be eliminated. And then as you go up through the, as you gain little gems, you will start having traps that fall down, and then spikes and laser beams, and chandeliers might fall down from the top of the sky, or in certain levels there's like little fireballs that are coming from the bottom, and then they burn you, and that's instant death. Whereas if a block jumps on you, then as long as you've got rings, it's kind of like the rings from Sonic, where you get some energy and then oh dear, you lost some rings. So, but it's very addictive. I finally, after 14 hours or something, I managed to unlock all 9 characters. I don't know what percentage complete I am, but I feel like I'm done enough with the game. I could, play it for, but it's kind of reached a point of diminishing enjoyment. So I decided to hide it from my Steam thing, but it was a lot of enjoyment, and yeah, I feel good about that. And oh my gosh, hello, Photo Ben, it is amazing to see you. So this, for those who don't know, this is Ben, I believe, who Attack the Pack, who designed a game, and we've playtested so many times at South Bank, indeed. And so, yes, it is lovely to see you. But what are some of your recent highlights? If you're in the chat, please let us know. And Nikita, please let us know.
All I can think about at the moment is that I fulfilled most of the board game survival kit this week. Really, really happy. And just slowly started on what I can be stressed. So that's a massive highlight. 95%, nearly 400% survival kits left my house on Wednesday. It was very nice. Very, very nice.
Man, well, managing to fulfill stuff, that's a really solid thing. So well done. And board game survival kits, this is something where you choose a color, for example, pink or purple or red or one of those less good colors. And hello, Alex. Hello, Jamie. It's lovely to see you both. And whichever color you choose, you would get meeples of that color, dice of that color, and other bits of that color. So do you want to explain the benefits of this? Because it's a really nice idea, and how you came across this idea.
Yeah. So the biggest benefit I see is I've had some people who have problems with color blindness, and so especially on board games where it's a big green map and some people are red and things like that, they find it hard to distinguish their color. So for people who have that problem, I've provided little stickers so they can sticker up their pieces, and then they could use those pieces with every game they own, and they know which ones are best. And then that way you don't have to sticker up your own board games that you might want to sell later, or you might just not want to put stickers on your own things. Or like you're going to a friend's house, you don't want to put stickers on their games or have to do anything to their pieces so that you can work out which ones are yours. So that way you can take your kit and use it like that. But most people have bought it just because they love their color and they want to be able to play as their color. And especially for things like purple and orange and pink, where you might not see them in every game, you can just Yeah, of course I've got some here. You can just go like, well, I play orange, so I'm not going to do what you tell me to do, and I'm going to grab my orange meeples out of this kit and play with orange. I've had a lot of people. So I really didn't expect people to want like green, yellow, blue, or red all that much. But obviously, I wasn't going to leave them out. But then they were the most popular ones, and I think a lot of people just want to have the little kit that says "This is my color," which is really nice. Really, really nice.
And you also talked about how it's quite good for COVID times. Like if you are fit. I don't know how much of a difference it really makes, but it does mean that you don't have to touch other people's bits necessarily.
Yeah, especially with the dice, because you're usually like handing dice around to people. And so every kit has 2d6 dice in it as well. So you could all be rolling your own dice. You're the only one who needs to touch your pieces. And even if that's just a little bit of extra peace of mind, that's nice. I've got a couple of friends who I made when I was doing the Try to Win campaign, because I basically did like a roadshow tour to different board gaming groups, taking it round and demoing it. And so I've made friends with lots of people who organise board games. And one of them specifically was like, no one's coming to my board game nights without a survival kit now. You come, you bring your pieces, no one touches anyone's stuff, and then you leave.
Wow. What's that? So that means you can't really play cards games, and that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it as I say, it's a little bit of extra peace of mind. It depends on the game, and it depends. And
also, it's not like this is going to cover for you everything. It's not like, okay, if you play Power Grid, you've necessarily got all the pieces you need. If you need 20 cubes of your color, you might not have that. If you are playing, but I mean, do you think you might make another version with like lots of cubes? Or
so here's the thing. So I'm really, really happy. So backers completely changed the campaign. So they said, well, I want more of this, or I want that. So this is the size of the original 10, and now there's an upgrade.
Ooh.
And then you can have as many pieces as you want. So I sold something like an additional 400 odd pieces, bits and pieces, tin size upgrades and cylinders and pawns and things like that, just in the pledge manager, because people upgraded their tin, and then they were like, well, I play more games with cylinders, so give me more cylinders and stuff like that. So and it's on Etsy now. So the plan is just people have whatever they want. I mean, the original idea of the basic, the meeples and the deluxe was just a way to give people some options and have some nice stuff out there. And then people have used their jumbo tin, and then people have used their imagination, or you know what games you like to play. So if you want 20 meeples, you have 20 meeples. I've got no problem with that.
And Elaine says you can still play Yogi because you can put it in the washing machine, or so I've heard. Now, I will say that it depends on what detergents you're using. It's definitely waterproof. So those, if you play it in a swimming pool, if you put it, I think that if you've got, some washing up liquid and put it into the sink and wash it there, that should be fine. But actually putting it into the dishwasher or the washing machine, I'm not totally sure about that, about how the detergents might react with the inks on the cards. I just want to, but I can say with certainty that you can use it with fairy liquid. And I'm not sponsored by Fairy Liquid, although I'm clearly getting money for people buying Yogi, like I get a few euro cents on every copy sold. Do I have a spare copy to try these out? Yes, you know what? I do happen to have multiple copies of Yogi. I do buy them at reduced price. Is that an experiment that people are wanting to see? Is that something that people want to know about? Like how cards react to different things? Maybe presumably I don't need to test the entire deck. Presumably I can just put like 3 cards. 3 cards seems enough to test it, right? What do you think, Nikita?
I think that would be brilliant. Just every washing detergent and type thing you have in your house, 1 per card.
Yeah, because we are blessed to have a dishwasher. And so, yeah, like I could try the different dishwasher things that we've got. I could try different detergents. I could try, yeah, quality control live stream. I mean, honestly, it's not going to be a live stream. That's going to be terrible content. Just the camera in front of a dishwasher while it runs for an hour. I don't think, but I will happily do it, you know, while in the next few times that I run a wash, and then I will put the results up on Twitter or something and report back to everyone. This is, and maybe in future streams I'll say, this is what's happened with this, and I'll keep copious notes.
You can do before and after of each one in case it fades the cards or anything.
Yeah, should take before photos, you're right. I should also note that in London, the water is quite hard, in case that matters. Maybe in London water versus Scottish water, it might be a different, the other stress testing of a game. So, yeah, what do you think? I mean, I'm curious, what do you think? Do you think, I know for sure that in one certain swimming pool in London, which was known as the Aquarium, which was a club, this is a true story, there's a nightclub with an attached swimming pool, and it is an actual nightclub. But then you have to pay you pay to get into the nightclub, you're paying for your booze and then your drinks, and then in front of the swimming pool, which they open for not the entire night, then you I think it's like a $5 that you pay or something, and then you've got to have some swimming trunks. You've got to be wearing swimming trunks. Those are the rules. And, you know, some people might try it with just underwear rather than swimming trunks, you know, because, you know, it's a nightclub and people are, and because they don't know what people get up to in these swimming pools, because I should reiterate, it is actually a nightclub. That's the gimmick. It's a swimming pool actually in a nightclub. They've got a ridiculous amount of chlorine to clean it. You can smell the chlorine in the swimming pool. It's the most chlorinated swimming pool I've ever been to. True story.
You'd want so, that, yes,
but what I'm going to say is that this chlorine did slightly in that one first sample copy of Yogi that I got pre-production. This was back in the old days before it was printed with the old card back that never made it to print, that I marginally preferred. But let's not get into that thing. But yeah, some of the ink's gone white. So, given that information, let's say the next few tests are going to be dishwasher tablets, like the dishwasher tablets that we've got, and the washing machine that's powder that I normally use with my next wash. Do you think both of them will deteriorate it, or do you think it'll be okay? What's your opinion? Let us know, chat. What do you think, Nikita?
Are they plastic cards or plastic coated cards?
They're plastic. They're properly PVC.
Okay.
I'm not mangling these cards. No, I'm not putting that on. And test for fading with bleach and water in 5% increments. You should have enough cards to have a nice gradient in display. I could do that. Yeah, I could definitely measure out exactly how much detergent I scoop in each thing. I'm just thinking, you know, I'll run a wash of clothes, and in amongst those clothes, I'll put a couple of cards. Because if you were to wash cards, if I were to suggest, yeah, play Yogi, wash your cards in between plays, that's what I'd be suggesting, right? To put it in the washing machine.
You'll probably find the heat has more of an effect than the detergent. Because plastic shrink or warp with heat.
Nikita,
so you might have to try a cold wash and a hot wash and see.
That's a very good point. Maybe I should start off with, I don't know if we've got a 20-degree delicate wash, and then, yeah, move on to a hot wash. Is this true that all the bits in your tins are dishwasher safe?
No, I think he was saying that he's remembering part of yours and part of mine in the future.
Elaine is a she, by the way.
Based on this conversation. Although they're waterproof labels, because I was worried about them going in and out of people's pockets. So they are vinyl labels on the tins.
Although, having said that, even with vinyl labels, if you put them through, if you properly submerge them, oops.
The idea is more splash-proof than waterproof. Just
hey. Stretching time, stretching time. This is the rhyme for stretching time. And now I'm sitting down. Just because apparently just a quick tiny bits of standing up and sitting down every 40 minutes can ensure that we're kept healthy.
You know, anyway. I actually chose my Fitbit based on that. It tells me if I haven't gotten up and moved enough in an hour. And after having it for years, you realise that you just ignore the buzz. I don't even notice when it vibrates on my wrist sometimes.
I mean, it's socially awkward, isn't it? Like just now, like standing up and bringing awareness to, but I think we need to normalize this. I think we need to normalize, like if you're in the middle of a long meeting, if you're in the middle of a long playtest, if you're in the middle of a really long game or a long live stream, just get up for a bit. Let's prioritize our own health.
I agree. Honestly, we have, well, pre-COVID, we had board game nights with me with my Fitbit and my 2 friends with their Apple Watches, and 10 minutes to the hour, every 10 minutes to the hour on a board game night. Us three would get up and jog on the spot for 10 minutes, and my husband would just be sat there going, okay, that's what's happening now. So yeah, we normalized it amongst ourselves.
Nice. Good work. And hopefully now we can spread that to the internet and spread that to everyone else, even if it's just getting up for 20 seconds. If anyone has any questionably quick questions, this is the time for your questionably quick questions. So, Nikita, first question I always ask is where, in as much detail as or as little detail as you would like to share, where are you? What time is it?
It is 10:22 and I'm in Hampshire in the UK in my dining room, which I'm gradually turning into my board game room.
Well, Nikita, you and I are both from the same tiny country, which only has one time zone, unlike the bigger places like Russia or China, which have more than one. But so here it says also 10:22 because I've been speaking for less than a minute, but I am closer to the capital. I am within the capital. You could say I am in London. And I'm quite close to Finsbury Park. I'm willing to reveal that. And after COVID, once I'm able to, if I know you from the stream, I'm not inviting all the strangers, but, if we get to know each other, come on to a Friendly Friday forum, if I get to know your face, then, when we can get together, if you are in North London, then come over someday. Maybe we can play games together. It feels like that could happen within a few months. The time is nigh.
I miss games with people so much. And also, hi, Jamie. And hurricanes do hardly ever happen in Hampshire, which is true. And my foundation is based on fact.
I love this thing. You know what? Just do weird stretching, even if it's an in real life meeting. Just do your weird stretching. Just like sometimes stretch. Just make sure that you're stretching yourself. Like you're stretching your arms, you're stretching out, you're making sure that you're standing up straight. Yep, I think that hurricanes hardly ever happen throughout the country.
Yeah, it's true. But especially in Hampshire, because you need a bit of alliteration just to deal with life sometimes.
Oh yeah, and Australia is a bigger country. It has a strange half-hour time zone. That is absolutely true. And hello, Chaos Lering. It is lovely to have you join us. And morning to Rob Harper, a lovely friend from also England who I playtested with a good few times. Alex has a question for everyone. If you could have a tin full of anything of your choice, what would you have in a tin? So I am assuming, is it a normal size tin? Is it a sealed tin? Am I allowed the most precious metals? Am I allowed, is it safe? Like, could I have some sort of radioactive material, like enriched uranium, then I could sell it to someone? That seems like, or maybe platinum or gold or diamonds. Could I have that?
That's a really good shout. A tin full of diamonds, and then you can just pay off the mortgage and whatever.
Yeah, Pandora's tin. No, I definitely wouldn't want this. Like a tin full of plagues. No. Why? Why? I mean, this is the thing. Like, money ruins everything. Giving everything a financial value just means that's all these kinds of questions. It's like, yeah, what would you rather have? The thing that has the most money, because money can be traded.
Maybe the question should be then, what would you have for yourself? Something that would make you happy.
So you're not allowed to sell it. That's a new question.
I've invented a new question off the back of the last
one. Okay,
okay.
I like this. Okay, what would I want in a tin if, so, whoa, have you got anything in your mind? I'm thinking, okay, because I would actually quite like some more bits to make games with. Right now, what would make me a bit happier would be components for games. I don't have enough cubes. It's true, like I've got
your tin right here. Oh wait, actually no. Wait. I've got your tin right here.
And Nicholas wants a bottomless tin of holding. And hello, Xate, it is lovely to see you. We are just asking if you could have a tin full of anything, but you're not allowed to sell it. That's the new rule. And I just want to do the spreading of love for Xate. There we go. There. Xate will literally cook for board games, just apropos of nothing. Lots and lots of love to Xate, who is working for Board Game Arena. Speaking of which, I have been thinking about starting a new show, maybe every 4 afternoons a week, where I kind of play games, sometimes play testing, sometimes playing a party game, sometimes trying a new game on Board Game Arena. But yeah, tin full of anything. I would like some food. I would like some, nice cheese, because you could tin anything pretty much, although the cheese would die. Oof. I'm struggling.
My first thought was chocolate, and I'm really trying to think of something other than chocolate, but it's still just stuck on chocolate.
What percentage?
What percentage of the tin would be chocolate? No, I mean what percentage cocoa? 55. Yeah. So 55 is counted as dark chocolate, and it's richer and nicer for me than milk chocolate. But I find once you get up to 70, it gets quite chalky. And I already
that's true.
I already get really bad dry mouth, so it's just not as satisfying at that level of cocoa. Sadly, because I do like the taste.
So, firstly, lots of love to Sate, who's been missing folk here, but I do want to definitely have a chat soon, maybe on what's that, Skype? That's the one that I was thinking of. But lots of love. I hope you are generally well. Alex would go for a tin of ennui. Hello, Timmy. It is lovely to have you. Alex says the maximum size, for those who are wondering what size it could be, is biscuit tin size. I feel like everyone's just going for the biggest tin possible. I like dark chocolate myself. I've been enjoying 100% recently. We already said that you're not allowed to trade the things. You're not allowed to sell them. I think that if you've got money, that's the same as, it's got to be something that you actually consume or use. That's the first thing that I said. I said diamonds, platinum. I like this idea. With all you need to grow cress or some other tiny plants. A portal to anywhere I wanted, because you could have a biscuit tin, and then you could if it's big enough for your circumference. That could be amazing. My gosh, with these out loud, if we're allowed to imagine fantastical things, I'm going to go with a dragon that will do my bidding. That's what my answer is going to be.
And I guess it arrives in the tin, but then it can grow out of that, right?
Exactly. It's a baby dragon, and then it grows up. It's like just this cute little dragon. And also, this is a magical dragon. The dragon only it doesn't eat too much, and it doesn't poop or vomit or anything ever. And also, it eats basically no more than it eats like 1/10 as much as a cat, but it will eat people on demand. Like if I have enemies, this is my dream dragon.
So you want a dragon that doesn't poop or vomit, that is an attack dog, doesn't have an appetite unless you've got someone you want to kill.
Yeah, kind of.
It's a very specific dragon we're getting to. I love it.
Yeah,
I wonder what the dragon would be.
Jamie says sand, pebbles, and a tiny rake. Ooh, so you can have like a Zen garden, like in this biscuit tin. And
I mean, nothing's beating a dragon at this point.
And Elaine says, would you know what was in it before you opened it? Or would it be like this discounted bin at the supermarkets where all the labels have fallen off? And yeah, like people have said, yeah, maybe it's a tiny dragon, but it's going to grow. It can grow, like the same way you get to kids and it's going to grow, like a puppy grows. Come on, that's how animals work. They grow up. No, yeah, see, we're trying to avoid the kind of trading these things for other things. Does Amazon have entire cows on Prime same-day delivery? You'd need that. Yeah, this is the problem. Dragons love to sleep on cress. I would love a tin full of the respect of my peers. Ooh, if we're allowed emotions. Yeah, what would you like a tin full of? And, oh, this is lovely. Our respect for Alex is way too large to fit in a biscuit tin. I would agree with that. And I don't know, Elaine, I don't know if dragons eat cress, but I was just reading out what was written. I don't necessarily agree with it. I'm just reading it out. I think that normally dragons would eat... A baby dragon would eat like cats. And like I think they're carnivorous. I think a tiny baby dragon in this biscuit tin would start off eating maybe raw meat. Maybe they don't like, I don't know. I think it's basically raw meat is what they'd want. Although, do you think they're carnivorous or omnivorous?
I think they would be carnivorous, but it's your fantasy dragon, and you said it has the 1/10. Don't go back just because everyone's asking you about what it eats. You came up with an awesome dragon.
Yeah, and that's what I'm sticking with. But I love this idea, the respect of your peers. I love that, and I love the idea of chocolate. And you know what? Yeah, the money trees all. So let's now talk about brilliant things. Brilliant things. What's a little thing which is brilliant? I thought it would be a good idea to talk about introspection. Because I feel introspection is pretty brilliant. What do you think, Nikita?
I agree.
Excellent.
Being very introspective when I think about that. Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that you don't feel obliged to just rush into an answer.
Yeah, I want to think things through before I say them. I do a lot with introspection recently, and a lot of it's stuff I probably wouldn't want to share.
Oh, and Sates has a new idea. Okay, so firstly, it's a 3-in-1 laser cutter, 3D printer, and some other third function that those machines have. So, so it can print stuff, it can laser cut stuff, and maybe color stuff, I guess. I don't know. But if some assembly will be required, can it be delivered by a tech-savvy, single, and attractive gamer guy? I like this answer.
It feels like the same level of fantasy as the dragon.
No, I like this.
Especially a laser cutter that would fit in a tin if we were going biscuit tin sized. You're only allowed to make really mini components and things.
Well, it can unfold and stuff, and maybe it's like really nicely, maybe it's done by nanobots. Maybe the nanobots like build it up from this tiny thing, and maybe it kind of assembles itself. That would be pretty awesome.
But the single attractive gamer guy still needs to be there just to like keep the nanobots on track. Like, hey guys, don't take too much of a rest. This needs to be done by lunch.
But then you get lots of conversational time with the gamer guy, because, you know, then you're like, yeah, you know, the nanobots are doing its own thing, but now that you've delivered this biscuit tin of, you know, this 3D printer that the nanobots are making, then, and Alex says, come on, let's be real. No, no, I disagree. Yeah, maybe the nanobots make the spool of stuff, and it says, while he's being helpful building my machine, I will cook him into love with me. Will cook for his love. Okay, anyway.
Always tip your gamer guy.
We were talking about introspection. I think that oh no cannibalism on this show. We are not live streaming cannibalism. No, that's not going to happen. I just want to make that clear. I do not advocate for cannibalism. Okay, and apparently Xates will only cook Rob. I don't know what's going on here. I am, wow. Okay, introspection, and that will be the name of the dragon. The dragon's name will be Introspection, because I will be whispering things to this dragon, and it will be, have you read, there's a book, I can't even remember the name of it. It's about a dragon that talks about Cornwall, and then it's a baby dragon, and there's a lass, and she's, I think, somewhere in the middle of England, but not in the south, you know, coast on Cornwall, certainly nowhere near there. And then the dragon talks about how to eat a scone the correct way, because, you know, just basically the correct way is however you enjoy it. And hello, cat. So, yeah, I feel like I want a dragon, like Falkor from the Never-Ending Stories, where you can sort of whisper things to each other, and yeah, chats, have conversations, but you're really analyzing yourself, you're thinking about yourself, because I think it's important not to just know others, not just to know the world around you, not just to think about what you're doing, but also to think about yourself and where your life has taken you, and how you've been dealing with things. What do you think? What's brilliant about introspection? And thank you, Nerhal, for following. Thank you very much. You're just lost for words.
Yeah. So I agree, introspection is incredibly important. I think it's something, I don't know if it's true of everyone who works for themselves, but because I work for myself, I do that quite a lot. I try to evaluate what I'm good at, what I'm bad at, what's causing me stress, how to deal with that, and various things along those lines. I think a lot of people don't do it enough. Probably should. I've been having conversations with family recently, actually, where they'll say something, and I'll ask them how they came to that point, and they take a moment, and it feels like the first time they've ever kind of reached inside and asked why they form certain opinions and things like that. So yeah, I think it's a skill, but a lot of people need to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make any sense? Am I just waffling? Sometimes I'm
No, I agree. Like, it is a skill, and it's important to think about ourselves. What have we been doing? What could we do better? Because that facilitates our own growth. And Nurhal, I assume that you're someone that maybe I know by a different name or we've met somewhere. Or do you just mean that you found this random person that you enjoy the chats of? Or did you mean that you already... But thank you very much. And Nicholas says, yeah, I guess this is inspired by the fact that there are skies of blue and trees of green. And there's no red roses blue for me and you. But I do still think to myself, what a wonderful world. Anyway, talking about introspection, I thought that we would have a wee bit of a topic. If anyone wants to jump in to because they prefer chatting vocally to typing, then feel free to. I have pasted the link to this. So this is an article from December 2003, and I thought I'm just showing it because I'm going to review it. I thought we would kind of talk about what's going on in this article, and it raises some interesting questions. And I thought we'd talk about, are these actual geek social fallacies? Are they actually social fallacies? Are they human fallacies? And do we feel like we've succumbed to any of them? You already heard our quick... Oh, and apparently I've met Nurhal at Festival International de Jeux at Cannes. Well, it was lovely. Thank you very much for popping in. And I hope that I'm not speaking too quickly for you. I don't know if you're French or English, but that was a lovely convention. I've been there 2019 and 2020. Such a lovely show. Introspection is useful because we so often think about what other people think about us, but little about how we feel about ourselves. So, Nikita, shall we just take this article section by section and talk about it in that manner?
I'm up for that.
Okay, cool. So it starts off with an introduction saying that, okay, not everyone succumbs to these, and there is some truth in all of these so-called fallacies, but the fallacy is when you take it to the extreme. That's how it starts, and I would 100% agree with the introduction. What do you feel about that introduction?
Sorry,
you got something different from it.
So no, that's pretty much what I got from it. I don't know what to say about the introduction. I've started writing notes from like the first fallacy, but I kind of speed read the introduction. And...
Oh, that's fair. Okay, let's go to the first fallacy. Oh, we don't need... Honestly, this could just be like a... Let's skim through it. So, social fallacy number 1. Apparently, it's about ostracizers being evil. So the point here is that if you say to someone, you can't come to this thing because of X, Y, or Z, or then that's wrong. And whilst there's some truth in it, you know, we should be mindful of being able to tell people, hey, you kind of, can you work on your personal hygiene, for example? Or, yeah, can you change this thing? And then it suggests that if we're making ostracizers evil, then it can turn into people not inviting people, but not actually explicitly ostracizing them, which is even worse, arguably. It's kind of this hypocritical, bitchy, go behind your back nature.
Yeah, I found with all of these, they were probably things that you'd describe as being very like prevalent in your world as a teenager, and then as you grow up, maybe it happens less often, but they're still very much a social thing of it. And the thing of it being called ostracizers are evil. That actually explains it as you're not really ostracizing someone. It's just you're not allowed to say anything negative to anyone, or you're the bad guy. And it's the idea that you can't really give feedback to your friends, or you're not their friend anymore. And there's definitely does everyone? Is my audio?
Oh, it was kind of crackling for just a second. I could hear you, but it was just okay. The audio did go wonky for other people as well, but it's back now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's basically that thing of you can't disagree with a friend or give them some good feedback, but if it says you could do this in a different way, suddenly you're not their friend anymore. And yeah, it very much makes me think of like a middle school thing where you're just not my friend if you say anything remotely bad. And it's again my thing where I don't think that's a geek thing, and I think actually the point he makes on this one I really disagree with, because he says because we're geeks, he specifically says in this one that like because we're geeks, we have found our little social geekdom, and then in this little geek area that we've built, we're not allowed to say anything negative. And actually, I found the opposite of most friends that are geeks, in that maybe because they don't feel like they're part of other groups in society, they're actually more forgiving and more allowing.
But I don't think this is necessary, and I 100% agree with Elaine, who says if I'm doing something wrong, I'd much rather someone tell me so I can improve rather than just not inviting me anymore. And I don't think that this one is about not criticizing other people. I think this is about everyone has to be allowed to everything, no matter what.
I think that's the next one, sorry.
So ostracize. So here, if it's not about criticism, you don't have to apologize. And as an aside, Alex does ask, has anyone tried mindfulness? It's been fascinating to discover that my mind works on several different levels, and it requires introspection to unlock a different level of understanding about yourself. And I have definitely been trying to be what I consider a little bit of meditation, being in the moment, and mindfulness of when I'm eating, trying to savor each thing. When I'm eating a whole bunch of peanuts, I might still have half a really big bag of peanuts, but I'll be trying to have them one at a time, be really mindful of the texture, and enjoy what's going on in my mouth and the taste rather than just do it mindlessly. I mean, for me, that's what mindfulness means, but maybe it means something different to you, Alex. But that's quite aside. I don't know if you have anything to say about mindfulness before we go back to the article.
Mindfulness recently has become more of a non-religious way of saying meditation as well sometimes. And there are lots of like mindfulness apps like Headspace, and they are really useful, especially if you find it very hard to quiet your mind, which I do. But I with mindful eating as well, it's still kind of the same kind of presence of being mindful of what you're doing. So I try to practice mindful eating as well, because overeating is very, very easy.
Yeah, definitely during these times.
A lot less when you're appreciating textures and flavors and everything like that. Actually, and that's when, like I was saying about chocolate, high cocoa chocolate being a bit too chalky for me. Being mindful of what I eat actually made that happen. So I used to eat 70% chocolate all the time, and then being more mindful and taking it slower made me think, actually, I don't enjoy this like mouth feel that comes with it.
I've definitely adapted an enjoyment, and it definitely depends on the brand. I find Montezuma's 100% more enjoyable than Lindt 99%.
Interesting. So I think I've had Montezuma's 100%.
Oh, I mean, it is very intense. It's not something that I would say, oh, if you're not in, but if you're enjoying Lint 70% and maybe 80%, but you're not enjoying Lint 90%, I would still say give Montezuma's 100% a go. But if you're like, oh, even 70 is too high for me, then yeah, I'm not suggesting you jump to 100. But let's get back to people being allowed to do things. And should everyone be allowed to do everything? And it kind of ties in with what is said later on, with sometimes some people just don't get on with other people. And if I'm saying, oh, can I... You know, I can see a little bit of this in myself, is the truth. If I want to be somewhere and I'm not invited, then it can feel very much... it can feel personal. It can feel hurtful if I'm not being part of a group. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think especially if... Because certain friendship groups form because you all met in one place, or you know, you have your friends from school or university or work or whatever. And if everyone else from that group is being invited to something, then I think it's only reasonable that you're going to feel a bit left out.
But at the same time, you have to think about, and like, yeah, maybe this group is just badly run. Maybe you've applied to be part of this group and you hear that, oh, wow, there's actually 2 other people that have applied to be part of this group and not heard back. But it's, yeah, they've not gotten back. It seems like it's not just you. It's just that they're badly run. Maybe it is about you. Maybe it's just that there's something about you that just doesn't fit them. And sometimes that's okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, that you're not invited. Maybe I'm having a game day where I want to play games that are a bit more complex. And so if you're only able to play party games, maybe you're not the best fit for that, because I don't want to have to just play party games every single day, if you know what I mean. It's not that I'm against party games, and I like playing party games, but do you know what I mean? Sometimes some people just aren't a fit for whatever the group is intending to do, and sometimes it is a case of, hey, I'm sorry, but you don't jive well with that person, and sometimes I'll invite, sometimes I'll have you, sometimes I won't have you. And recently, I know a friend who said, oh yes, we are going to meet at Saturday in the park. And I said, oh, can I come? And then my friend said, no, sorry, we've got 6 people and that's the legal limit. And I kind of feel bad not allowing other people. People are feeling left out. But, you know, it's the world we live in. There's going to be certain activities, and sometimes it's about you, sometimes it's just, I prefer seeing this other. But you've got to be okay with that, whether it's on you or whether it's you saying to someone else, I'm sorry, but you don't fit this thing.
Definitely. And that's a really good point about the rule of 6 at the moment, is that must be happening for a lot of people. But the reason I, with this one as well, thought that was not necessarily a geek problem is there was a group of friends who are all from like a sales background. So they are they're like the grown-up equivalent of jocks rather than geeks. And there was this just one guy who's just so rude to everyone all the time. And I just had to take someone aside one day and be like, why do you keep inviting him? He upsets you. So I've had those people, and if they're, so this is now specifically talking about the kind of person who upsets everyone else in the group. And if they have been invited by the one person that does like them, that's fine. That person wants all the people they like to be in the room. That's fine. But I've had friends that feel like they have to invite that person. And I'm like, if it's your event, your game night, your birthday, your whatever, don't invite someone who upsets you. Like, actually upsets you.
And the author here says, as a result, nearly every geek social group. And I think this is where when you said it, I hadn't thought of this, but I think you're right that the author misascribes all of these things to geekdom, but let's call them human fallacies.
I think it's just human. It is human nature.
I think it's just maybe all the geek social groups that the author was part of, maybe their social group, because yeah, I don't like uninviting people. I don't like telling people you can't come. But yeah, and for sure, it can be super hard to deal with, whether you are the person who someone says, no, you aren't invited to this person because of X, Y, and Z. And ideally, if you are telling someone, and hello, Russ, it's lovely to see you. And we've got Nikita on screen, and we're chatting about these things at plausiblydenial.com. If you want to read along, you can here. And so let's move on to number 2. I'm noticing that my battery is running out. I did say that I would aim for an hour. I'm already looking like this is going to be at least an hour and a good bit. But the second fallacy is that friends have to accept you as you are. And if you're a friend, you cannot criticize people.
I think this is what I thought one was. I got 1 and 2 mixed up.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. And Jamie has a comment about the previous one. When you join a group and don't know that everyone doesn't really like the troublemaker, the fact that they put up with them feels like they agree or support that behavior, which is not great if you're the new guy. And I think this is 100%. This comes down to what we can do against it is not be the bystander. Like if someone's doing troublesome behavior, call it out right then. If someone's misgendering someone, call it out right then. If someone's being a bit smelly, you know, take them to the side and mention it like personally. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes they might not be aware, but sometimes it might be because they're so depressed that they have real trouble getting out of the shower, getting into the shower. And, you know, I know that, and sometimes you need to be kind and understanding, but it's worth bringing up these things. I don't know if you've got anything else to say about number 1 before we go to number 2.
No, I did a lot of waffle on number 1 when I number 2 when I thought it was number 1.
Okay, so and apparently Stream Elements reminds us to stretch back and forth, and if you want to do additional stretching, then feel free. Anyway, criticize your friends is what I would say. Going back to what Elaine, if I am doing something that annoys you, I don't want you to tolerate me. I want you to tell me so that it doesn't become a big thing. And I have found this in certain people that I'm not going to mention who are nothing to do with the geek world. Yeah, again, like you say, the notion of these being geek fallacies is completely wrong. But we need to be willing to criticize our friends. We need to be willing to take criticism from our friends. And I don't think I suffer from this one. Do you think you suffer from this one? Do you feel unwilling to criticize people or to be criticized by your friends?
I don't think I do. I don't think I am affected by this one. So I'm pretty good at taking criticism, and I'll give it when it's warranted. So there's a lot of times on Twitter at the moment that I'll see something that I think doesn't necessarily need to be called out in front of people. So I'll DM someone and say, by the way, this might help, or try and do this, or whatever. Sometimes... yeah,
that's a really good point. Sometimes do things privately. Like if there's if there's a media person who's done something that you disagree with, you know, I've in the past sent a couple of private messages because it's like telling them is enough. And sure, if people are like, okay, Bez is in the audience and Bez is talking, you know, to this person, and if I leave a comment on a video and I don't mention it, then that's a thing. But I could choose to just not comment on that video and then private message that person. And I think that's a really good thing. And Alex says, I'm assuming Alex means this to both. I'm going to assume Alex means this to both of us, that we're both good at taking criticism. So excellent.
I hope so. Thanks, Alex.
I would like other people in the chat, if you're willing to be introspective, I'm not forcing anyone, only if you're willing, do you feel ready to criticize your friends? Do you feel okay about being criticized? And within the board game media space, do you think that we are okay at calling out problematic behavior from other media creators and not just saying it behind their backs, but actually saying it to that person? What do you think about the last question? Do you think we're okay at that in the board game publisher media creation space?
I think we're lucky that, well, so that there's a lot of stuff that happens that I don't know about. I regularly see people post that things in the board game community have upset them that day, and I almost never know what it's about. The people I get to interact with, I feel, are very good at saying publicly, no, that's not right, let's not do that. And aside from my point of DMing someone, I'll DM someone if I think they mean the best of intentions, but they may have said something problematic. I will call them out publicly if I think they are actually being a jerk, because people need to see that other people aren't taking it, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
And I've kind of edited it slightly to what I believe is the true social fallacy, which is friends must accept me as I am. Like, that's a nicer way for me to explain it, although I get that that doesn't land exactly on one line. Elaine says, it depends on how safe I feel in the environment. I totally get that. If you're feeling like you're unsafe, maybe you don't want to call out bad behavior. If you're feeling unsafe, maybe you react badly to being called out. Yeah, it's really, being a good bystander is really, really difficult, and I can totally understand that. If you're feeling unsafe for yourself, then, but the thing is, if you are safe, if you have energy, then please call out things. And this is also about friends, remember that. And hopefully if you're friends, then... Now, number 3 is friendship before all. This is basically saying that any failure by a friend to put the interests of the friendship before anything else means you aren't really a friend. And this is kind of, yeah, being unable to realize, having black and white thinking. I think this is, you know, the psychological problem. Again, I agree with you, Nikita. It's not a geek fallacy. It's a social fallacy, but there is an actual psychiatric condition which is called black and white thinking. That I have seen some people really believe that either we love each other and we're amazing and we need to hang out all the time, or we hate each other and we're terrible. And that kind of extreme thinking, that's really damaging.
Yeah, I think this one I find the hardest to relate to, because I've maybe met 2 people in my entire life who are that kind of, you're either my friend and you support me in absolutely everything and we do everything together, or you're not. And it's more something I see in like American movies where people have a bust up because they're not supporting each other 100% and stuff like that. So I probably have the least to say about this, because I've never really had those kind of relationships. I assume this is the kind of relationship where you decide that you're absolute best friends and must do everything together. And the only person I've ever had that relationship with is my husband, and we probably would have a bit of a bust up if we didn't support each other on everything. So,
but I think it's also suggesting that you know, it suggests that if you suffer from this fallacy, then you just end up putting other people above yourself. And I think there's definitely a temptation for myself and a lot of people that I see to have maybe not the extreme black and white thinking that this article is talking about here, but I definitely can see myself having the sometimes putting other people a little bit higher maybe than I should do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And if you're talking about putting other people before yourself, I completely, totally do that all the time. And I know plenty of people who do. And I think this person was, there's something in it that says like you put that one friendship above like work, your personal relationships and everything else in there, which is like, just feels to me like having an incredibly needy friend. But that thing of putting other people before yourself is just so easy to do, and that's a good point for introspection, and to think, actually, is doing that one thing for them worth the stress? Or, you know,
are we caring enough for ourselves? I guess that's the kind of question that we need to ask ourselves occasionally. I mean, we have to care for other people, and caring for others slightly above ourselves isn't necessarily problematic. But I do believe that when we care for other people massively, then it can be really problematic. Or if we expect that of others to say, hey, we've got certain stratas of friends, and and this kind of ties into, I guess the fifth one, which is friends do everything together, where, you can have friends where you're, I guess I'll get to that. Let's go through it in numerical order. Friendship is transitive. I have definitely suffered from this in the past. I have definitely been in the past thinking, okay, friends of friends should definitely be friends, but I am almost an overly optimistic person. Parts of me just wishes that everybody could be friends, and some people are just bad people. Okay, so slight trigger warning about physical abuse. I'm going to put up a thing. Where's my thing? So slight trigger warning for physical abuse when I have this up, and then I'm going to take it down when I stop talking about it, so you'll know when it's safe to listen to again, if you know what I mean. Basically, I got mugged randomly. I say randomly, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It was an opportunistic thing. It was a bunch of people who were younger than me. I was bin raiding at the time. Some people, I thought they were drunk. I thought they were just messing about, and then realized after a few minutes, hey, wait a minute, they are actually trying to beat me up. And then it kind of took me more than a second to realize that these people might actually be wanting to try and incite violence upon me. And I did end up having to go afterwards I've got like a fracture in my skull because of that. I mean, I don't know if skulls heal, but I had a hairline fracture and like a wonky nose that got slightly, grew slightly better, but still like marginally wonky from that. But yeah, at the time I was almost like, do I fight back because I'm worried that he might bust out a knife? But the fact that I was, and this is not even this social fallacy. This is nothing about friendship being transitive. This is just me about giving people too much the benefit of the doubt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm really sorry that happened to you, Bez.
Sorry, I should have asked you if you were okay to listen before I because you're on screen, of course. But no. So my point is that I am the type of person who is very unwilling to block people. I think there's like 2 people that have blocked on Twitter ever, and there's like starting to stream, like it's kind of been a thing where I've had to block people off Facebook all the time now, and Twitch, it's like almost and but like, okay, some people are just terrible people, right? And we have to accept that, but some people are good people, and it's just, they might not get on because there's a difference in opinion. Like my ex-living landlord, I'm not saying that they desire a level of tidiness and they have certain requirements. They desire a certain infrequency of people coming and going, whereas I desired a certain frequency of people coming and going. For me, if I had some people coming and going in the house every night, that would be fine. And that doesn't mean that we're bad people. Either of us are bad people. It just means that it was a terrible choice for us to live together ever. And yeah, Sate's random question. No, I don't use Facebook to James. Yep, I totally understand that, and thank you for all the love in chat. But yeah, going back to the whole notion of friendship being transitive, do you believe that you suffer from this? Is this something that you've seen a lot with your friends? That your friends feel like all their friends should be able to get together in one big party?
No, I resemble that first statement of wouldn't it be great to get all my friendship groups together, and if have a big birthday like my birthday, I just invited absolutely everyone. I did not expect different groups to become friends with each other. Same as like obviously you have a wedding, everyone comes, and I entirely expect the groups of people that know each other to stick with themselves, and if they want to mingle they can. I have been to the kind of wedding where they try and put you with people you don't know on purpose so you can all make friends, and you're like, but my best friend is right there over there, I can see them. But yeah, I think people might think that I'm that kind of person, but I don't. I'm actually really, really surprised that my best friend from when I worked at Microsoft has my mum on Facebook. I keep seeing these random connections where I'm like, how the hell did these two people know each other? Oh yeah, they came to my birthday and they got chatting and now they're friends. But I never expect it. And I always try and, if I invite someone from a friendship group who won't know anyone else, try and invite a couple of other people they do actually know so they have someone to chat to and stuff. I never expect people to try and make new friends in that setting if they don't want to.
I feel like a good wedding seating plan would be to have, let's say you've got 6 people to a table. I think it would be nice to have maybe 3 people. Each person has at least one person that they get on with really well, maybe even 3, but there's maybe at least one person that you don't know so well. I don't know.
Yeah, so we very much had that because we didn't have big enough groups. I think we had one group, one table that was entirely IBMers, because I worked at IBM at the time, both me and my husband. And because my parents aren't together as well, I didn't want 3 sets of parents on the main table. So instead we had our ushers and bridesmaids on the main table, and then the next table closest to us were all of the closest family members. So then we had a WAGs table of the wives, girlfriends, boyfriends and husbands of the ushers and bridesmaids, but they would know each other from the stag and hen do, was the plan. But also that way they were sitting as close to their other halves as possible as well.
Sate says, at my wedding, about 30% hadn't met anyone other than me. And how did those 30% feel? Extrovert part. The thing is, like, I'm not sure a wedding is necessarily the right time to get to know all these people. And I'm actually thinking of the last wedding I went to, which was up in Scotland, and I was seated with I wasn't seated with the bride and groom, even though I knew them. You know, I'm okay with that. You know, bride and groom are special. They go off on their own. You know, everyone knows them. I'm not, but I was there with 2 people only 2 people that I knew who were not the bride and groom, I want to say. And that definitely felt good. It would have felt weird if we'd been separated arbitrarily. But I am very much an extrovert, but those people that I didn't know at the table, am I going to make friends? Am I going to stay connected? Probably not. I was at that wedding to celebrate the wedding, do you know what I mean? And yes, to have some banter during that night, but that's not, I don't think it's incumbent upon the bride and groom to force new friendships. I think it's incumbent upon them to make sure that people are enjoying the night. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think if you seat people with 2 or 3 other people they know, it's actually easier for them as a group to be friendly and nice with the other people on the table that they don't know. If you feel like you're alone, it's a lot harder, and it's a lot easier, especially for introverts, to just be quiet, stay quiet, and get on with the night rather than trying to enjoy themselves.
Okay, and Xate says the setting was almost like the box cover of Power Grid, exactly like that. Wow. Jamie stopped going to the evening meal at the industry conference too many times, ended up on tables with people who the only thing in common with is the job. And yeah, like hopefully you've got some common ground, but I mean, this isn't about work. This isn't about weddings. This is about if you're having a time with your board gaming friends, do your board gaming friends need to be friends with your dancing friends? Should presumably you have more than one aspects of your life. Presumably some of your friends just don't get on with sometimes. And does that mean that you can't be friends with both of them? Or does it mean that, I guess this is it, like if you've got 2 friends and those friends for whatever reason stop talking to with one another, do you feel like you have to pick one side or the other, or can you be friends with both? What do you think, Nikita? Because I'm not sure on this.
I think you entirely can be. It's just hard if you want to be. So like let's say, for instance, we usually go every year to see the British touring cars with a group of friends. And if you always do something with a specific group of friends and that friend group busts up, it would be a lot harder. And then that one social activity you have in common, maybe you do have to pick which of those people you actually do that with now. But it doesn't have to pick who you're friends with. You can still be friends with them, do other stuff with them. But yeah, I've been in that situation before where like friends have had a bust up. And that can be really, really hard. Luckily, I haven't been in that situation yet where you couldn't just still be friends with them and see them at different times. But that would be really hard if you had to make that choice.
I just want to mention that I'm on 6% battery, so I'm going to catch up with the chat, but I'm going to go quickly through the art. Else, Xate says, is there really things in life that don't involve board games? I always tango whilst playing dexterity games. Pasadobo King of Tokyo is also quite a crossover for Euro games. A waltz. It gives you more thinking time. And Jamie, maybe slightly more seriously, says, your own personality has different aspects that come out with different friends groups. They don't necessarily mix well. I can kind of see that. And I definitely think that's number 4. And number 5, I definitely had aspects of this, of friends do everything together, that you need to invite everyone to everything. And you want to do all the friends with this person. I remember when I used to meet everyone, it's, oh, shall we play games together? Shall we make music together? Shall we do this together? And I don't know if I ever felt like we should do everything, but yeah, maybe there was. I feel like I have succumbed to this, that you need to invite people and you're going to do all the things. Do you have any thoughts about this final one?
Yeah, I think this is why I brought up birthdays and weddings, because they're the only times where I do feel like I want to invite everyone. And I am that person who ends up with a week-long birthday, because the weekend before I'm seeing family, the actual day I'm like with my closest friends, and then like the weekend after have like a party with lots of friends. But I think that's the only time I feel like I want to invite everyone and as many people as possible. Other times I'm quite happy to go, well, who would enjoy this? Or who might want to give it a go that I haven't seen for a while and want to have a catch up with. That's kind of how I decide who to invite to things and stuff like that.
And the other thing it says here is that you need to not only do the things, but you need to invite people. And sometimes, yeah, it says like, I want to have bits of one-to-one time with me and Layla, and it's not that I don't like you, it's not that I don't want to walk around with you, but sometimes I want to walk around on my own with Layla. And yeah, it's like sometimes I want to walk with this other person. And but yeah, I think that not inviting to everyone to everything, I would agree that these are things to be mindful of ourselves. And I think we've both, it finishes off saying that, talking about interactions between these fallacies, and sometimes these can lead to hurt feelings, and think about yourself. And it says, hey, are you talking about me? And I don't know the author, but it says, if I know you, probably I am talking about you, but it doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean that you're not a good person. And that's the thing, like, they come from good places. You can be a good person and also have all these fallacies, because a lot of them come from really good places. And even though I think there has definitely been an assumption earlier on that this is about being a geek, that in the comments, do you agree with that? Do you think any of these have anything to do with being a geek? Or do you think they're completely irrelevant to do with geekdom? Because, yeah, I think
a lot of the things we've talked about, I see much more in like my family members who aren't remotely geeks, or as I say, the jocks that of sales and marketing that I've known in the past.
And yeah, Jamie talks about different levels of what might be appropriate around the table. And Elaine says, I agree with you. I think this spans more than just geek. It's just people's personalities. And there's, yeah, definitely too, where the only people that I know of that might succumb to this maybe I guess it depends what you define as a geek, because you could be a geek about sports, or a geek about peanut butter, or a geek about chocolate, arguably. But
I like to tell everyone that they're a geek and that everyone's a geek about something. I tell my best friend from school that she's a geek about shoes. So,
but ultimately, everyone's agreeing that it's not a geek thing. I am going to, because I'm on 2% currently, I am going to have a quick wrap up. We've chatted about this. We've decided that this is, I think it's a good article. We disagree with the geekdom, but I think it's a well-written article and worth reading. What do you think, Nikita?
Yeah, I do think the only thing I disagreed with was the idea that it's intrinsically about geeks. I think it's a really good read, and as you say, if you're wanting to try out some introspection and see which of those fallacies you see in yourself, it's a good read.
And I'm just looking up your links from tomorrow's thing. Those are all my links. If you want to check out Nikita, then those are all, oops, I meant to put that into all the places. Whoops, let me do it one more time. Those are all Nikita's links. Thank you for joining me today. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nikita. Thank you, everyone. I am tempted to just run in and plug myself into... Nikita, would you mind talking for about 1 minute while I run indoors?
Okay. I'll talk
about...
People have to help me by commenting.
What's you're up to after this stream?
Okay, I can do that. Hi, everyone. It's just me now, not Bez. Today, I am working on the Indie Tabletop newsletter, which is a newsletter I put together every month. for everyone. But it's content from board game designers, indie board game designers, and what they're up to. And this month, I think I have 15 people sharing their wonderful, wonderful news of us. If any of you would like to comment and ask questions, that would really help me right now because I'm gradually running out of things to say. I'm also putting the last bits of the board games we'll get onto BEZZY along with the super tiny mini. Do we have any tabletop RPG players on here that like awesome dice? Because they have lots of really tiny mini dice that I love. That are going up with their own little dice bags on Etsy today. Somebody's comment. Say something. Do something. This is why I don't do my own streams. Because I have nothing to say. Your normal according to Germany, what does that mean? No, I don't know any normal people. Does anyone know any normal people? It was actually a really there are. Oh, quick, tell us embarrassing stories about pets. I don't know any embarrassing stories about pets. Oh, people never tell me to try to win. They should. Oh, this plant here is a spider plant that was actually given to me as a housewarming present in my class. It's now about twice the size, and it's going to have to go outside soon because it's too big for the window. A podcast about solo journaling RPGs that delve. I have no idea what that means.
Hello again. I'm
Hello.
going on to Twitch so I can see any
it
comments because when I log into StreamYard, it shows all the YouTube and Facebook comments, even the last ones, but on Twitch it doesn't show comments from the past, only the present and future, and then it loads them in. But anyway, let's see.
So I got chatting, and then for some reason the comments weren't updating, and then suddenly they all did. And now I'm seeing that Alex said that it's Nikita's nightly notorious natter, and that's going to have to become a thing now.
And Elaine said, "Are we having a part 2? This is very interesting. Like every Friday, we can chat about whatever you want. Bye, Sate. Bye for. Did you actually say anything about me?
Not saying. You'll have to watch it back and see.
And hello, Joanne. I just ran back in from the garden. I was in the garden until 5 minutes ago, and then I had to jump back in because of lack of power. But just catching up with chat. Yeah, so Elaine, are we having a part 2? We've kind of explored this article, but if you want to explore more of these things on a future Friday, just jump in and bring in the discussion or suggest a topic. Can
I ask a thing?
Pardon?
Can I ask a thing? I know, like, anyone's allowed to jump in on here, and probably no one else knows. I came on here to tech test for tomorrow when we'll have how many guests?
4, 5? I think there'll be 4 guests. Oh, no, wait, someone can't come, so there will be 4 of us, I think. Let me double check.
Would anyone else be willing to jump on for 5 minutes if we have time, just to see if my laptop can handle it? Because last time it was when a third or fourth video stream came in that my laptop crashed.
Yeah, if anyone wants to jump in, then...
As a favour to me, guys, please.
Please feel free to jump in. But I'm going to recap it once more, because that just for Joanne's benefit, we I was out in the garden. I wasn't showing off my blooms or anything, but there was an occasional cat wandering behind me. But we chatted about an article, which was the social geek fallacies, and we agreed it was a good article, worth reading, but nothing to do about Greekdom. And then I didn't properly thank everyone because I had to rush off, but I want to properly thank Nikita. I want to thank everyone else. And if anyone has like literally just a minute, Alex says if I wasn't at work. Oh, there's Xate. Hello, Xate.
Hey there.
Oh my gosh, it's been so long.
I know. It's like having a job keeps me away from you or something.
Yeah, who would have thought? When do you finish working each day?
Never. I never finish. Never, ever finish.
It's one of those where you're basically working even when you're not?
It's because it's from home on my computer. Anytime my computer's on, I get an alert that there's something to do, and I'm having a lot of difficulty just saying I'm done and turning off Discord and turning off the email program and turning off Board Game Arena because, you know, that's what I do for fun anyway a lot of evenings, so then I'm already there, so I might as well just click and see if I need to moderate something between games. But that just means I'm working a lot. So yeah, one of my colleagues kind of mentioned that earlier this week. He's like, you realize you're messaging me at midnight again. I'm like, oh yeah, whoops. Like he didn't respond until the next day because he was asleep like a normal person. But
I think it's definitely a tempting thing to get into, especially when you've got a job that you are kind of enjoying or that you're really passionate about. I think you have to find certain times of day that you're like, yeah, no matter what, I'm going to ignore stuff. I don't know if you have any. I
have been fairly good about not doing anything for about 15 to 20 minutes while I eat a breakfast or a lunch type thing, which is usually I go in and challenge the current chat champion in Michael's stream just to make sure I have a break. And then I've been taking, I had the walk challenge because we're talking about our accountability thing that we're all trying to get out and do more. So I've been doing that. I can say, despite the job, I've been getting out for my daily walk, and I go in the mid-afternoon when there's kind of a lull, when people seem to be siestaing or something rather than playing games and getting upset. I go for my walk then and pick up any groceries I need or whatever. So I get out for at least half an hour away from the computer, shake out my hands, think about stuff that's not related to a computer. And that's been very, very good. I'm very glad that I had already established that habit and have been able to continue that. So, yeah.
Hello, Joanne.
Hey.
It's lovely to see you. So now we can test it with 4 people. Although I don't know if you can put in headphones, that might be good.
Headphones?
Because there's a lot of echo when I talk.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Hold on.
Sorry about that, but I'm going to mute you for just a second. But Nikita, do you want to talk and make sure that your video is still okay?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Is it all good?
It's all good. So we have successfully tested Nikita's thing still works with multiple people.
Brilliant. As well as it was working before anyway.
Yeah. As it was occasionally kind of getting scumbled, let's say. And I will leave you to get on with your job. Lots of love. But
you're telling me to go do work? You just told me to take a break. Now you're telling me to go work. I mean, mixed messages, Bez.
I don't know. What do your bosses tell you? Do your bosses like expect you to work during certain hours, or is it because you're working so late at night? Are they happy for you to just not work whenever you want to not work?
I'm supposed to make sure I get all my hours done each week like a normal full-time job. That's not a problem. I've been doing way too many hours. So I've got one of my friends who's now getting on me in the evenings every night saying, have you logged off? And that's been helpful. Just having someone say like, have you logged off? I end up logging on again and doing a little more work later at night because I just get worried that there'll be too much in the morning when I wake up if I don't. But I have at least been getting off the computer for a few hours in the evening or not off the computer because everything is on the computer. Do you have that problem? Am I the only one who spends like too many hours every day on the computer? no matter what for.
No, I get that. I totally spend a lot of time on the computer.
I'm trying to oh.
Hello again, Joanne.
Hi, Emerald's here. Say hi, Emerald. Come here.
Oh, this is Joanne's wee cat. Hello, Emerald.
Hello. Oh, so cute.
And Alex suggests no working after 9. Doctor's
Your 9
orders.
or my 9? So no working after Aquasulus's 9.
So no working once Loozapalooza goes live.
So 10. Okay.
They go. Oh. Yeah.
Time zones. They're fun.
There, now you can see her, right? Can you see her?
Exactly, Yoda.
Aww.
I feel like I get up at 9:30 and start working. I mean, not that I get up and start working while I'm still brushing my teeth and getting dressed or anything. That would be ridiculous. I would never do that.
Oh, Emerald. And Alex says 9. Alex means 8 p.m. our time and 9 p.m. German time. This is, yeah. Do you ever have that trouble, Joanne? Like, whoops.
There, I have to have it facing this way. Do I ever have that trouble? What?
Just getting too entrenched in something and being unable to turn off?
Yes, a lot. I feel like, let's see. Like, I do like being on Twitch, and the weird thing about Twitch, my husband and I were just talking about this, about how I feel like my friends, like my online friends, I've actually connected with them a lot more than people that I know in real life. They're actually nicer people. Like they tend, like my friends, quote unquote friends in real life, have tended in the past to be kind of mean to each other. And people like you don't tend to do that. So it's interesting, and I like seeing them. So yeah, it's kind of hard to disconnect from it.
Yeah, I felt that support too, especially from the people on Twitch. Like when I got COVID, my real life friends were just like, "Oh, we can't go anywhere near your apartment. We might get COVID too." And nobody even thought to say, like, "Do you have something to eat? Are you okay?" Friends from England that I've met only on Twitch sent me food because they knew I couldn't go get my own food. And it's just like that kind of support. Or like even applying for my job a couple months ago, I had 5 or 6 people help me who I've never met in real life, and Bez, who I have met in real life. But everybody else, like I had all this help and all this support from people just encouraging me and giving me advice. And my real life friends were like, "Well, you'll never get that. You've never actually had a job. So, you know, like you can forget it." And it's like,
wow.
So, but Twitch has been
really
like
useless.
so supportive.
It was such a perfect job for you as well.
I know. Like,
yeah.
This is the last day of my trial month, by the way. So, yay.
Santiar.
I actually got the job now.
Oh, Nikita's gone. Hopefully.
Oh no, did her computer? Nikita, come back.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, Joanne, you might be interested in the earlier parts of the stream where there was a link that I'll actually post into the Twitch. So we were chatting about this, which was a bunch of social fallacies, and I don't think it's necessarily about oh, Nikita, I don't know what's happened with your video.
Same thing that happened last time. We just lasted a lot longer this time. We're going to try different laptop or Ethernet tomorrow. We'll see.
I mean, I'm always
Have you tried plugging in the Ethernet cable rather than going over Wi-Fi?
I'm gonna. My current laptop doesn't have an Ethernet port, but I will use my husband's and use the Ethernet port tomorrow, and that will work.
But I 100% agree with Alex that, you know, the way that people are saying, "Oh, you won't get that job," that's totally 100% not cool. And yeah, I'm actually, but I don't know if it's right to say board gamers are like this, or Twitch people are like this or online people are like that. I'm always wary of generalizing too much, because I always feel like it might just be the people that you're with. But having said that, I do think that social dancers and, you know, there are certain hobbies like board gaming and social dancing that kind of makes you have to think about other people. Like if you are doing salsa or swing dancing, you have to think about, what's the other person able to do? Am I physically able to go under their arm, or are they physically able to go? Oh my gosh, Nikita is having serious problems now. This is not great.
And I think also the internet's a bigger place. So the chance that you'll find more people that you gravitate to and who gravitate to you, and where that connection works is bigger than, you know, if you're in a small community. If I'm looking at all the board gamers on all of the internet and all the Twitch, I'm going to find more people who like to play what I like to play and who I get along with on a personality scale than if I go to the one board gaming club that is here in my town and look at the 20 people who go there regularly. I get along with a couple of them, but not with everyone. But I mean, I spend all day on the internet and I don't hang out with everyone I meet on the internet. I hang out with a group of people I met. And
that's
they've
a really
been
fair
supportive
point.
ones.
Yeah, and really, like, I find that my family members don't sit around and listen to my singing and my music the way my friends on Twitch do. I mean, they might listen to 1 or 2 songs, but they're not going to hang around and listen to like 2 hours worth of me singing.
Yeah,
But,
and you can Twitch while doing the things you actually have to do in your life. If I'm sitting in your living room listening to you play, I'm not doing anything else because that would be super, super rude. Right. So it takes a significant amount of time. But if I'm listening to you on the internet, I can be enjoying that and commenting occasionally while also doing the dishes, while also eating something. I can be doing what I need to do and also be attentive and a part of what you're doing, which is it's a different type of time commitment, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I find that too. Like a lot of times when I'm watching musicians, I'm not necessarily paying attention to them 100%. And the funny thing about it is they don't know that. They don't necessarily know that. So,
and hello, Nikita. I guess the video dropped for some reason. But Alex says the amazing and scary ability of the internet to find like-minded people from anywhere. I do think that it's worth thinking that with Twitch and stuff, there can sometimes be a fracturing of interest, if you know what I mean, of attention rather. Like, you know, there's so lots of people I know, myself included, you know, not just watching someone and doing something else, but sometimes watching someone and potentially even listening to someone at the same time. But again, like talking about, you say this as someone who clearly does that all the time, Kate. Stop pretending you don't.
Me?
Well, like I have a friend that's a gamer, and I mod for him, but I also usually have a musician in the background that I'm listening to, and I might be in their chat a little bit also. So yeah, you know, I do that.
Lots of love to Nikita. And Jamie says, need to concentrate on work. Well, thank you for jumping in. I do want to finish up because I'm going to finish. It's been a lovely, oh my gosh, maybe Joanne's phone died now. But that's the thing.
I'm just nuking guests left and right. Just like, come for me. Last streamer standing. Come on.
Okay, it's a staring contest.
Okay. I'm going to lose this because my computer is like a meter away from me right now and I can barely even see. Oh, am I not supposed to blink?
Yeah.
No? Why shouldn't I blink?
So I won. That's what a staring contest is. It's not staring if you just look. Anyway, it has been a lovely chat. And Joanne's still here. But I didn't click for you to go. I don't know. Do you mean you're still on Twitch? Or because if your video camera works, Yeah, I don't know why it's not
That
working
might be
for me.
Morse code. It might not. If you watch it back, you'll find out.
I'm back.
Oh, hello, Joanne. I was just going to finish up, and to finish up, I do want to, just for a couple of minutes, say over to you. What are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. Nikita's already talked about what Nikita's up to. Xate's doing some, answering some Board Game Arena users' complaints.
Complaints? Who would have a complaint about Board Game Arena? It's amazing. I'm replying to people telling us how much they love our site and saying, we do too, thank you. I mean, that's like half the job right there. It's just you know, agreeing with people about how great Board Game Arena is and how great all of its users are and how there's definitely nothing to complain about anyone ever on Board Game Arena. So you should play on Board Game Arena. No, actually, Fridays are really cool. Actually, Fridays and Saturdays are my days to get to know the new games on Board Game Arena.
Totally love Board Game Arena before ever getting that job.
It did, yes, very much. And Fridays and Saturdays, I spend a lot of time actually getting to know some of the games I've never played before. So those are actually really fun days. So this afternoon, I'll have an hour official of work time when that's what we're doing, testing out games that are in alpha and beta to see if they can move up to the next step, and spending some time with my team. And then Saturdays, I do the same thing, but with a group of my friends who are willing to let me test out any games on them, even if we don't know the rules and have to learn them as we go. And I have a lot of fun just doing that, just opening up some game and saying, what is this? How does it work? You can.
Have you heard about my new stream site? I've decided to try, while you've been away, I had this time when I missed you so much that I was streaming for 4 hours on some days. And then I was like, yeah, it just not the same. We played Words on stream for like, and honestly, I feel like I'm kind of done with it as a regular thing. I feel like streaming can be really addictive, and I like it as my morning activity. And starting next week, maybe, on Sunday, I want to aim for 1 hour, 2 hour being like an exception rather than a rule, which is what it became more and more. And I know you were pushing for 2 hours while you were watching, but...
No, I was pushing for an hour and a half.
I'm doing a disconnect my video this time, okay?
Okay.
But I'll be in your chat.
I was going to say, with Board Game Arena, bye, Joanne. It was lovely to have you. Thank you very much. But I was going to say, I'm going to be doing some playthroughs of things, maybe starting 11th on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, until we start doing other things in real life. And so, yeah, if you want to play some Board Game Arena games that last half an hour, then I would be up for that between 4 and 5 on Saturday.
That's in the middle of my game time.
Yeah, is that not perfect? Oh no, because you've got. I thought you said that you did it with anyone who's willing to play.
No, I've got a group of like 6 people.
Oh,
we even have to like take turns sitting out of games to make sure that because we all often have too many people for a game. But we could do it before that, a couple hours earlier.
No, I'm making it 4 to 5 very specifically so that it's late enough for American people, but it's also kind of a nice end of Bez's day kind of thing. So start of my day, an hour of conversation. And then, but yeah.
Well, Bez, we'll just have to get together and play some games off stream then. Just hang out.
Maybe one day. Maybe we will. Yeah, I want to play that Steam thing because I want to win each game that I play on Board Game Arena at least once. So we need to play that again until I win.
Yeah, if you play that one against me until you win, we will be spending decades together.
That is fair. Yeah, someone else needs to...
Maybe I should teach someone else how to play Steamworks, and then you can play Steamworks with them.
Or we can play Steamworks a few more times, and then you teach someone else.
You need more practice before I let you loose on the next person? Getting an
well, you know, if it's Alex, it depends who it is. But, you know, Alex...
you two are equally matched. You're both very good at various different types of things. I would watch that match.
Ooh.
Aqua, are you up for it? I'll teach you Steamworks and then
Elaine says, this sounds like a challenge. which sounds like a challenge, whether you could beat me or whether Xate would beat me for decades.
Oh, I would beat you for decades. It's my top 3 favorite games. I've been playing it for 5-6 years, and I've only lost. It
depends how frequently we play it. It's like if we played it every day, I reckon it would take, you know.
I mean, there is the chance that I would get tired of playing it every day with you, and then maybe not play my best someday.
To be fair, like I remember me making decisions a wee bit faster. But anyway.
Well, yeah, I want to win games. Who doesn't?
Anyway,
but when you taught me Flaming Pyramids, or I guess you didn't teach me, we both figured it out.
We both learned
playing together
at the same time.
That has come back to be an amazing thing to know how to play and be as being part of the Board Game Arena team, because that is one of the standard kick off our team meeting games. Just, you know, they use it as their and they have a little bit of a team competition going on at it. If you lose Flaming Pyramids, you have to change your official team name on Discord for a week.
Are you being serious?
I am being serious. And so
wait, is this like
they warned me
just for the team members or a public Board Game Arena Discord?
I don't know how public it is, but it's not just the team members. There's there's translators, developers,
but
anything that
could
needs
we be part of it?
It's not like an arranging games type of, it's not a hangout thing. It's we have this problem on this thing that we're working on. So the people who are involved doing those things are in it.
But I mean, there might be someone trying to put together a couple, for example, on Board Game Arena. So
shoot a mail to our customer service representative, who will probably find out from her boss what the answer to that question is.
Can I just ask the customer representative and ask the customer representative to tell me?
I don't know what our Discord policy is. I'm in a Discord. There are people there that are developing games. We don't hang out. It's just
that's why I'm asking you to tell us.
I don't know.
On.
I have no clue.
Later on, ask.
But if you lose Flaming Pyramids, you have to change your name. And they warned me the first week. They're like, "Oh, this is a very good game, very French game. We all know this game really well. We're all very good at this game. So it's okay. We'll be nice to you. And the first time, your name won't be so bad." Yeah, I won. So I got to let my colleague change his name for a week, and I got to pick the name, which was fun. So.
Okay, wait. So the winner chooses the new name for the loser.
I don't know if they always do. I suggested something and he took it. So,
and that is pretty good story.
And I owe it all to this stream.
Lots of love to Joanne. I'm happy that you're feeling better. If anyone has anything else that you want to share, then please let us know. If you want to check out my future streams, and if you're wanting to skedaddle, feel free to say goodbye now that we've... Is that a goodbye?
Yes. I just turned into the queen of... I don't know. Look, I even wore red to your stream. This was totally planned and everything.
It was lovely to have you. Lots of love.
It's nice seeing you guys again. I hope to be back in chat every now and then when I have a lunch break or something, and maybe stop in again on a stream on a Friday. See you.
Bye-bye. And so, yes, for future streams tomorrow, I am discussing self-publishing with, I'm trying to remember who said that they cannot make it. I think, it's Nikita Sullivan, Janice Turner, and Andy Hopwood. On Sunday, I am going to be reviewing things that people send my way. So I think only one person has sent something. So if you want to email me, like an overview of a game or even a set of instructions, but try and make the instructions like 2 pages or less. Or if it's a complicated game, then I might just skim read it or give me an overview or something. Or if you want me to review some song or something, then send something to my email, stuffbybez@gmail.com. On Monday, I am discussing, ownership of narrative in game books. That's a big, meaty discussion with Peter, Harley, and Scott, talking about pitching with some amazing people, then playing some Nanomuckle, meeting Jenham, the musician, discussing translation with Maisie, and next Friday is another Friendly Friday for him. And if I have managed to find my battery power pack, I will venture somewhere else in London. Oh, Joanne, you asked before when I am in London. I am currently in London. This is my home in London. I was over there. Yeah, basically what I've discovered is that if I don't find my power pack, I'll probably have about 1 hour of battery. But please feel free to share, spread the word. And now let me catch up with all the things. Yes, Xate is a real shark, 100%. Yes, I am live in London. And Alex is sending something? Wait, you're sending something to me? Oh yeah, that reminds me. I have things to send to you and Xate. But oh, you'll send something for Sunday. Okay, that makes so much sense. Yes, I completely forgot. Brilliant. Yes, please do that. And that's totally fine. Yeah, just send it over, catch the VOD. That's totally fair. And yep, Janice Turner will be around tomorrow. If you're going to the Garden Live, could you post that on Instagram? Oh, about going to see Big Ben, it depends whether I find my battery power pack. So, actually, I'm going to ask you, the audience, if I don't find my battery power pack in the next week, I will just be going out to the garden again next Friday. And yeah, just assume that I am outdoors every Friday from now on. Next Friday, and this is an if I find my battery power pack, do you want me to A, go to a park like up north, or B, do you want me to go into the centre of the city in Parliament Square and sit in front of the Houses of Parliament, which also features Big Ben? Let me know which you prefer. But again, that's only once I manage to find my battery power pack. That is it. That's the end of the show. Lots of love. I hate saying goodbye, but it has to be done. I am going to check who is live. We have Idol Michael, who is hurling board game ideas at the wall. You know what? Yeah, let's go raid Idol Michael. That sounds interesting. So, exclamation mark raid. And please copy paste some of that. Idol Michael. And this is the end of the song. Lots of love. Thank you everyone for being part of it. You are all wonderful. I hope you have a wonderful day. I am going to search for something. I am going to apply for a job, which as a content creator for CGE, let's see how that works out. And then I'm going to have a chat with Jason in an hour. And then I'm going to, yeah, maybe ponder some things and maybe draw some things and maybe tidy some things. I don't know right now, but it's been lovely. And this, as always, is so energizing. Lots of love to you. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, Elaine. Bye-bye, Joanne. Thank you very much, Elaine. And all the best with your cleaning. Bye-bye, Nicholas. Thank you. Bye-bye. 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 Oh, yeah, that was for Xate. Thank you for cooking for board games along. But bye-bye, Alex. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. 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 That's it. I'm not going to wave bye-bye for like How long is it? Actually 30 seconds. I am going to click to bots and bots. Bye-bye, Xate. It was lovely to have you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Xate. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. 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 And that's the end. Oh, wait. Okay, bye-bye, Joanne. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. You know, the good thing about doing the raid is that it's like, okay, at least at that point, I'm definitely finished. So yeah, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.